Hello again, everyone. Witch Doctor here, looking at the markets, and I'm currently looking at the intra-week activity, talking about this week's activity versus last week. And you can see this past week the dollar index was pretty much in a range trading environment, but towards the end of the week, you can see here that the market did break down convincingly, and in fact, it did wind up settling on the lows for the week. So in a sense here, you had a little bit of sideways consolidation before breaking down right below the 81 even level, finishing on the lows right around the 80 19 level or so, which is interesting because when you look at the daily chart as well, we'll take a look at a little bit more in-depth analysis there, but we did break through some key levels, most importantly talking about the 200 period moving average there in the dollar index. So when you're looking around here, you can see that the Japanese yen tried to break out of last week's high but failed miserably, and then actually did finish pretty close to the low, tried to take out the previous week's high and the previous week's low, but was not able to sustain any kind of momentum in either direction. You can see here that the Swiss franc actually did break down below last week's low about the same time that the dollar index futures did break down. And overall, we are looking for the non-farm payroll data to come out, and so pretty much that's part of the reason why you can see that the currencies were practically sideways for the duration of the week. Here's the Canadian dollar, basically did break down this 98.40 level, essentially finishing on the low around 97.60. But now the question here is whether or not we're going to get some continuation order flow. It looks like that's the case for right now, unless the dollar index can rally back above the 200-day moving average. You can see here that the Swiss franc and the Canadian dollar did follow the dollar index. And then on the flip side of the coin, you can see here that the euro basically did go practically sideways. Remember, leading up into the non-farm payroll data, and then once the numbers came out released, you can see the breakout here, 120.650, pushing all the way up as high as 128 even. Very nice climb in the euro dollar, finishing right around, if you look at the daily chart, this is the 200 EMA or thereabouts. I think it's like 128.40 or so, but you can see that the target is pretty much has been reached. You can see that the pound here actually broke above 159 as well, pushing as high as 160 and change. But we've been talking about the pound rallying for quite some time, and now you can see that the market has been able to move its way up into the 160s. Now the question is whether or not it's going to reach the full target up at 162 or so. But you can see in the face of dollar selling, you had Canadian dollar and Swiss franc dollar selling. You had euro buying euros, and buying pounds is the same thing. And also, one interesting note here, the Australian dollar did try to break down in the face of the rallying in the euro and the pound. You can see that the Australian dollar gave the impression like it wanted to go the opposite direction, and literally turned about face down here around 101.75 or so, and rocketed back to the upside, finishing pretty close to 104. So this turned out to be a pretty decent move as well if you were able to catch it. But in the face of the euro and the pound buying, it was really hard for the Australian dollar to get any kind of momentum to the downside. And so what I'll be looking for going into this week is to see if the dollar index wants to continue to move lower, and to see if that we're going to start to use that 200 period moving average as resistance, and then continue on this long trek back to the downside in the dollar index, which should give buying reason, I guess, a reason to buy in the euro, the pound, the Australian dollar. So we'll check back later. This is all I got for this market wrap. This is Witch Doctor signing off. Good luck with your trading, and we'll see you at the next market wrap. While I got you here, I wanted to take a quick moment to say that if you really liked what you're looking at here in the free Forex market wrap video, I wanted to give you the opportunity to come take a look at the premium weekly Forex market wrap video that I do every week. And basically it's a little bit more in depth, or should I say a lot more in depth information about the markets that I cover. And you can see here that in this short video I go over the basics about what I've been looking at on the major currencies. In the more in-depth market wrap video, I take a look at a in-depth analysis on the 6 major currency pairs. You also get actionable trading scenarios. The important thing here is that we're offering a 3-day risk-free trial, so you don't have to pay a cent. It's about a 30 to 45 minute video that'll go through all the major currency pairs that I look at, and it shows you a lot more in-depth analysis and forecast, looking at the longer term picture and the big major trends that are affecting what you're looking at on the lower time frames that you're looking at on a day-to-day basis. So take a moment to go take a look at the premium market wrap video. You can see the link here provided, www.traderstouch.com/3day, and it also includes a free membership to the Traders Learning Network, where you can meet other traders that are like-minded individuals, and they're basically there to help everybody looking at the same markets as you. So good luck, hope it helps, and look forward to seeing you on the inside.